Hello. Today I will be presenting excerpts from a speech by Margaret Chase Smith called A Declaration of Conscience. This speech was presented to Congress on June 1st, 1950. Mr. President, I would like to speak briefly and simply about a serious national condition. It is a national feeling of fear and frustration that could result in national suicide and everything that we Americans hold dear. It is a condition that comes from the lack of effective leadership in either the legislative branch or the executive branch of our government. That leadership is so lacking that serious and responsible proposals are being made that national advisory commissions be appointed to provide such critically needed leadership. It is ironical that we senators can, in debate in the Senate, directly or indirectly, by any form of words, impute to any American who was not a senator any conduct or motive unworthy or unbecoming an American, and without that non-senator American having any legal redress against us. Yet, if we say the same thing in the Senate about our colleagues, we can be stopped on the grounds of being out of order. It is strange that we can verbally attack anyone else without restraint and with full protection, and yet we hold ourselves above the same type of criticism here on the Senate floor. Surely the United States Senate is big enough to accept self-criticism and self-appraisal. Surely we should be able to take the same kind of character attacks that we dish out to outsiders. I think that it is high time that the United States Senate and its members do some soul-searching, for us to weigh our consciences on the manner in which we are performing our duty to the people of America, on the manner in which we are using or abusing our individual powers and privileges. I think that it is high time that we remembered that we have sworn to uphold and defend the Constitution. I think that it is high time that we remembered that the Constitution, as amended, speaks not only of the freedom of speech, but of trial by jury and not trial by accusation. Those of us who shout the loudest about Americanism and character assassinations are all too frequently those who, by our own words and actions, ignore some of the basic principles of Americanism: the right to criticize, the right to hold unpopular beliefs, the right to protest, the right to independent thought. The American people are sick and tired of being afraid to speak their minds lest they be politically smeared as communist or fascist by their opponents. Freedom of speech is not what it used to be in America. It has been so abused by some that it is not exercised by others. As an American, I condemn a Republican fascist just as much as I condemn a Democratic communist. I condemn a Democratic fascist just as much as I condemn a Republican communist. They are equally dangerous to you, to me, and to our country. As an American, I want to see our nation regain the strength and unity that we once had when we fought our enemy instead of each other. It is with these thoughts that I have drafted what I call a Declaration of Conscience. The Declaration reads as follows: We are Republicans, but we are Americans first. It is as Americans that we express our concern with the growing confusion and that threatens the security and stability of our country. Democrats and Republicans alike have contributed to that confusion. The Democratic administration has initially created the confusion by its lack of effective leadership, by its contradictory grave warnings and optimistic assurances, by its complacency to the threat of communism here at home, by its oversensitiveness to rightful criticism, by its petty bitterness towards its critics. Certain elements of the Republican Party have materially added to this confusion in the hopes of riding the Republican Party to victory through the selfish political exploitation of fear, bigotry, ignorance, and intolerance. There are enough mistakes of the Democrats for Republicans to criticize constructively without resorting to political smears. To this extent, Democrats and Republicans alike have unwittingly, but undeniably, play directly into the communist design of confuse, divide, and conquer. It is high time that we stopped thinking politically as Republicans and Democrats about elections and started thinking patriotically as Americans about the national security based on individual freedom. It is high time that we all stopped being tools and victims of totalitarian techniques. Techniques that, if continued here unchecked, will result in the end of all that we have come to cherish as the American way of life.